to my live. My name is Julie of Revive Fitness and Nutrition, in case you don't know me. That's a bit weird saying welcome to my live. Of course you're my live. Anyway, we'll go with it. We'll go with it. So I've not got a regular time doing these yet. I do plan to get a regular one in. So if you're on any of the channels, so be YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, I just want you to know there will be a regular channel for these. Regular channel. Oh my goodness. Regular time for these going live. What was that bit of fluff flying about? How weird. Yes, going live will become a regular slot on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I shall let you know once I figure that out. It was going to be about mid-afternoons, but a few things happened this week. A few things happened. Life pushes against us. Trees and cars don't mix. And so a few things have happened that meant it's thrown my routine out a bit. So that's why I'm coming to you a bit later than planned, but here we are. I want to talk to you about sleep and how you can sleep better to feel better. And I think there's a number of things that are normally covered off in here, like having a cold room and making sure it's dark, things you know about. But I want to also cover off things that for women over 40, things you might not consider. I'm sitting on my meditation cushion, and it feels quite appropriate to kind of be like on a meditation cushion talking about something relaxing like sleep. So yeah, I just want to give you a few insights around why it's important. I think we still live in a hustle culture of like the fact that it's the hustle of you got to work, get all your to-do lists, have all your shit together, and sleep is something you can do later on. Sleep is something you do when you retire. There's something that people say, oh, you can sleep when you're dead, haha. But actually, the truth is, if you work night shifts, if you work in cabin crew, then for individuals in these roles, then your life expectancy tends to be shortened. Yes, believe it or not, it's shortened because of the importance of sleep and messing with our circadian rhythm. I can't even say it tonight. Oh God, that's gonna be good. I can't even say it. It's funny how you can say words and then it just goes and you can't say it. I shouldn't look at how to say a word because then it just goes. But yeah, your sleeping rhythm. Let's call it that. Keep it simple. Sleeping rhythm. Okay, let's get into it. So why does sleep matter in your 40s and beyond? You guys know whenever I talk about 40s, I'm talking about 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80 plus, okay? So I cover that whole age range of female health and fitness. So basically, as our hormones begin to shift in our 40s, you've heard about perimenopause, menopause, you might be going through it, you might be through the other side. Sleep becomes more than just rest. It is much more essential than that. So sleep becomes about weight balance and cravings. And this is a big one, right? Because a lot of women that I work with, I have to say, where's your sleep? How do you get your sleep? Go and have a power nap, because it's so essential for weight management. And if you think about it, when you're tired, your brain goes, feed me. You're either going to sleep or feed me, one of the two. And so it just really helps with your food choices and your nutrition choices. And obviously when you're tired, you're going to seek comfort food and you're not going to make the best choices because you just want something quick and fast. Okay, so weight balance and cravings is a really important factor for what sleep helps with. It also helps with mental clarity and mood. I think a lot of perimenopause, menopause, we talk about brain fog, absolutely is a thing, but brain fog on top of sleep deprivation is just like a car crash, right? It is like brutal. I mean, I know I have brain fog and it is wild and stuff that you can't think of a word or you call it something completely different, but you add sleep deprivation to that and oh man, you're going to have a hard day, right? A hard day. I have a client who works shifts, and yeah, when the power napping and the jet lag vibes and what it does for mental fog is next level. So throw in the hormones 40 plus and throw in sleep deprivation, and you're going to have a hard time. Which is probably why there's a stat there about how many women give up work and business during perimenopause, menopause, because if you're not sleeping, so much stuff happens around not just like I say mental clarity, mood is the one that I would say, like the anxiety, the resilience, being able to take on board whatever the world is thrown at you becomes diminished and everything just becomes that much harder. And hormone regulation. So obviously our body's repairing at night, the brain's clear itself out. So obviously like hormone regulation, to help your hormones regulate too, they need to rest, they need to recovery to reset as well overnight. Obviously on energy levels, right? You're going to have lows throughout the day. That's quite natural. But imagine waking up. I would say imagine. I know you do this. I know you do. You wake up feeling like, oh my God, I'm so tired, and you're not feeling refreshed, which is an indicator of not getting enough sleep. And then metabolism. So your metabolism can slow down too, because obviously it's sluggish, it's not getting the rest it needs, it's not digesting the food overnight because you're up to it and you're like, let's go again. And you probably jacked yourself with a coffee. So sleep really helps with regulating your metabolism and recovery as well. So these are like simple kind of science-backed ways in which sleep really helps benefit the body. Some of them you will have known about. So I'm thinking, oh yeah, I can see that. That's great, Julie, but I can't do anything about it. So I'm going to kind of go through some things what you can do to help, and hopefully there's at least one thing in there that you can use to help you sleep better so you feel better. Because I think it is one of the foundational pillars that we know it's important, but it's like drinking water, right? We know it's important, but people struggle to do it. And it's the basic things that we struggle the most with because they're not sexy. You might get a bit of FOMO, you want to stay up in the night, watch whatever it is on telly, or you have work to catch up on. I know that hustle, believe me, I know it. So it's that whole thing about going, actually, I will be a better version of myself. I will be healthier. I will be fitter. I will be a nicer person. And I'll feel better in myself if I get good sleep. And you're shouting at me going, Julie, I've tried everything, the hormones. But let's go through and see if there's anything else I can help you with. All right, guys, so let's start off with creating a hormone-friendly sleep routine. Hormone-friendly sleep routine. So what I mean by that is by winding down. You might have heard this before, but winding down 60 minutes before bed. So low lighting. So like this light I've got on around me right now is a definite no-no, right? So you want warm bulbs or salt lamps, low lighting, not this bright office. I always refer to it like office lighting. That's like, being in an airport at 5 a.m. in the morning, this bright lights. So you want to low lighting. So you're starting to switch your system off. No screens. So this phone that you're holding, this device, put it away at least an hour before. Like nothing's going to happen. Think about before you had a phone. Like nothing's going to happen in that hour, right? And if something did happen, you would know about it. So put your phone away for that last hour. And if you really struggle to have it in the room with you and not look at it, then pop it in the other room. Okay, or put it on sleep mode, but again, you can go and easily turn it off, right? So put in sleep mode, or if you still struggle not to take it off or not look at it, go and pop it in the other room. So no screens, or like you can have a screen and use blue light blocking glasses, but let's face it, it might stop the light coming in and keeping you awake and stimulating. But I also think for the mind, just put the phone away for the last hour. Let's be honest, you wear the glasses, but if your mind's like mine, you're still going to be thinking about stuff, right? So get rid of the phone for the last hour. And then a calming activity. It can either be stretching the body, journaling to get all your thoughts out. Remember, nobody needs to read your journal. Like just let all your thoughts out, or it could be reading for you. I know Abba kind of says like she can't read because she instantly falls asleep. I'm like, that's a skill. But yeah, so it could be reading, or something I started doing this week is foam rolling before I go to bed. I feel like my body's a bit tight. And I think if I'm going to go to bed with that tension, it's going to take me a while to get comfier. So even having a foam roll, like you don't have to spend a lot of time, like 5, 10, 15 minutes, whatever it is for you, just a foam roll to relax my muscles before I go to bed has made a world of difference to me this week. So basically what it is your body loves rhythm, right? So whatever you put in 60 minutes before, it's going to benefit your body, benefit your hormones, and creating that routine. And if anyone's got a dog, you'll know, like my dog knows, it just knows when it's like 9 o'clock and it's going out for his last walk. He starts to get restless, he's jumping on you, come on, let's go. So just think about how much we say like our dogs need routine, our kids need routine. As adults, we need routine too to improve our sleep. So whatever works for you, wind down an hour before and create that routine even on the weekends. And you're like, oh my God, Julie, don't be a killjoy at the weekends. But think about, what do you do in the evenings at the weekend? You eat, you drink, you probably do the things that are taking you away from your health and fitness goals rather than towards it. And think how much better you'll feel if you're not waking up with a sleep hangover, a jet lag on a Monday or even on a Sunday morning, because you're not just getting over the alcohol and the food you've had, but you're also getting over the fact that you give yourself jet lag by staying up later, getting up maybe a bit earlier or later in the morning, depending on what you've got going on. And it's that whole thing about you end up giving yourself jet lag at the weekend, and when you wake up feeling rubbish, and then you add in the food and the drink, and it's just like waking up. And that's why I say hump day on a Wednesday. And because people are like, woohoo, halfway through the working week, actually you start to feel better hump day because your sleep starts to regulate, because you've been work days. So you've been going to bed at a regular time and you've not been eating or drinking the things that are stopping you sleeping. So that's why I always say like it's a 72-hour rule, and why you feel better on a Wednesday than on a Monday morning, not because oh my God, it's work, but actually because you're in a better sleep routine, and also your eating patterns are better too, and your choices are better also. Okay, so that was number 1, create a hormone-friendly sleep routine. Number 2, eat to sleep better. So I just touched on it there. So blood sugar crashes can equal nighttime wake-ups. So if your blood sugar crashes in the night, then you can end up waking up in the night. So how can you avoid this happening? Well, if you try a protein-rich evening snack, and what I mean by that is just a handful of nuts. Make sure you're weighing nuts. Nuts are good, they're healthy fats, but like anything too much is too much, right? So it can end up being extra calories. So yes, they're high in calories, but again, you want to measure them 25, 30 grams, depending on the type of nuts that you have. So think of a small handful of nuts, and I'm not talking about the flavored nuts. Okay, I'm not talking about nuts that are covered in oil and salt. I'm talking about your pure nuts that are not covered in anything, no salt and no oil. And a small handful, like I say, or even trail mix. If you've got trail mix, I know the fruit in the trail mix is like pumped with sugar, but in 25, 30 grams, just have some of that before you go to bed, or even a boiled egg or some Greek yogurt. You know, I don't know if, depending on your culture, they used to have supper when I was growing up. We used to have supper. We had dinner and then we had supper, and supper's disappeared. My dad's still old school. He still has supper. But think about having supper before you go to bed, which is a protein-rich evening snack. And you're going, but Julie, wait a minute, you're not to eat after 8 o'clock. Calories are calories. Whatever time you eat them, they're still calories. They're not like more calories because it's after 8 o'clock. What we say is not to have a big meal, because the big meal can wake you up. The thermal effect of food digestion in your system can wake you up in the night. So if you're eating late and then going to bed in quite a short window, like for example, if you're eating at 9 o'clock at night and you're heading to bed at 10, then you might have a disturbed sleep because you get too hot in the night from the thermal effect of food. But calories are calories whatever time you eat. And I'm talking, you know, a small snack here, not huge. Like if you think the size of a boiled egg, a handful of nuts, a small handful of nuts, 25, 30 grams, same Greek yogurt, 25 grams, just something to take the edge off. And avoid, as I say, a heavy meal or a sugary meal late at night, because as I mentioned, the thermal effect of food can wake you up, stir your system, your body. And then if you look at limiting alcohol, especially wine, because that can spike your cortisol, your stress hormones, and histamine. Any alcohol is ultimately a poison, and your body wants to get rid of that poison and wants to prioritize it. So you might fall asleep quicker, but guaranteed your sleep will be disturbed. And if it's not disturbed, if you've got a tracker that gives you the quality of sleep, it'll come up saying poor. I'll bet £100 on that. It'll say poor every time you've had a drink, even if it's a small glass of wine. So basically, to eat to sleep better, you're looking at a protein-rich evening snack. Avoid a heavy or highly sugary meal late at night, and then limit alcohol, especially wine or beer, whatever you have, as it's going to spike the cortisol and also the histamine response. We see more and more about histamine coming up. That's a different chat about histamine allergies. I know we've got some clients who are allergic to histamines. My husband particularly discovered that he's kind of gets bunged up and choked up with histamines too. So yeah, it's something to watch out for, but that's a different conversation. All right, and as a bonus tip, because you not always talk about this, it is about starting your day with protein, because it's going to help balance your stress hormones and sets the tone for a better sleep at night. Because obviously what you're doing at the start of the day is going to benefit you at the end of the day. So that's a bonus tip. Always start your day with protein. If you're like, I'm not hungry anymore, Julie, again, just a boiled egg before you have the coffee. Please, please, please eat something before you have the coffee. You know that's something I go on about all the time. All right, number 2 is support your sleep with smart supplements. Now, I'm not here to flog you any supplements. Okay, that's not my bag. But all the hormone research I've done, Lara Bryden, check her out. She's a New Zealand naturopath. She will talk about magnesium glycerin being a key in terms of helping with sleep, because it calms the nervous system. Now, she also talks about a combination of magnesium and taurine. If you want more information on that, please drop me a note and I will send you a link to Lara's site so you can read about it and make your own informed choices. Ashwagandha is another one that supports stress and cortisol. That's been mentioned quite a lot recently in different health supplements. You will see ashwagandha's popped up everywhere, but like anything, it's about the quality of it. Some people have a low dose of melatonin, which is short term if natural rhythms needs a nudge. So if you are really struggling with your sleep and you've been struggling with it for a long time, and you're skirting on 5 hours a night, for example, please go speak to your doctor about it and see if they can give you something to help you reset, so that then you can look at natural supplementation. Like I say, magnesium and taurine and ashwagandha are the key ones. There is a company who I would support in terms of their products. The nutrition course I'd done was part of Ben Cooper's course, and Ben runs awesome supplements, and they also have a sleep drink which I think has ashwagandha in it. So my husband takes it. I personally don't, because I don't feel like I need it to get to sleep. So he takes that every evening. It's like hot chocolate, and it's like 1 teaspoon, and you just start around. So awesome supplements, sleep. Go have a look, read the information on it, make your own decisions. I'm not someone here that flogs things, but I'm telling you about things that have helped me. What's helped me is magnesium and taurine. What's helped my husband is the sleep, the hot chocolate sleep. You also get as a fruit tea. And it's got ashwagandha in it and other stuff too. So go check it out. So there are things you can do there, but always check with your GP, especially if you're on medication and if you're on any treatments and you're doing any cancer treatments, chemo, radiotherapy, etc. right now. All right, number 4 is sync with your natural rhythms. So this is something we push against. So I mentioned at the start that those who do night shifts, shift work, or cabin crew, typically their lifespan is shorter because they're working against their natural rhythms, right? And it's where doctors and nurses have a mare of a time, because obviously they're working shift. A lot of them are doing shifts in hospitals. So your body's melatonin production depends on light. And you know that, right? It's easier to get up in the summer than versus the winter. So as soon as you can, within waking, try within an hour waking, getting out into morning sunlight. Now it's been easy the last few days, right? Because it's been bright sunshine. Today's been grayer. So you want to work with that. So get up, get out into natural daylight. And as we mentioned, as you start to wind down at night, you want to be smaller lights, some more subtle, softer lights. Softer is the word I was looking for. Softer lights, not like this bright one I've got in front of me now. So think about in the morning, you want to expose yourself to natural sunlight. And then in the evening, you want to cut out all this blue light and unnatural light. And these small changes can dramatically improve your circadian rhythm, right? So it's just helping your body set with the natural waking and the natural sleeping by blocking out all this artificial stuff and going with the natural sunset and sunrise. Okay, number 5, know your sleep disruptors. You might be, I know it's my husband snoring and the blooming dog. Apart from that, there are some sneaky sleep thieves, especially in perimenopause. So caffeine after 2 p.m. So try not to have any caffeine after 2 p.m. because the time it takes for caffeine to get out of your system, can disrupt your sleep. So I think it's between, depending on your metabolism, it's different for everyone else. It can be 6 to 8 hours, right? So this is why we're saying don't have caffeine after 2 p.m., which can be hard if you have a 3 p.m. energy slump, right? So if you have a 3 p.m. energy slump, get up, have a walk around the block. Tune in. Is it because I'm bored? Is it because I'm tired? Is it because I'm hungry? What is it? Why is it I've got this energy slump? Or is it because I'm genuinely tired? Can I go and have a 10-15 minute power nap? Whatever it may be. But try and avoid caffeine after 2 p.m. because it's going to disrupt. Now, we've touched on already, you know it. You know I'm going to say it, alcohol. Alcohol, especially red wine, can really disrupt your sleep. So alcohol, you know it might help you fall asleep. You might feel like it relaxes and unwinds, but it's really a sticking plaster. It's just like a quick fix, and it's going to catch up with you. I think it was Ricky Gervais had a really good thing he said in one of his podcasts about alcohol is you stealing your energy from the next day. So when you have alcohol, it might give you that little boost, might relax you, you feel good, but then you're actually stealing energy from the next day, because when you've not had a great quality sleep, you wake up feeling sluggish. So you've just gone and taken that energy from the next day, and that cycle exists. So like if you cut out drinking in the evening, especially on the weekdays, you'll wake up the next day, feel much better. And if you're like, but I need to relax, I can't unwind, journal, meditate, 10 minutes, whatever it can be, foam roll, as I mentioned, whatever it is within your evening routine to help you unwind, read a book, do something other than drinking alcohol, and your hormones will thank you for it too. Another one, as we mentioned, is the blue light exposure. So again, phone in the other room, and even if the telly on and all, a lot of stuff on TV right now is violent. it's negative, do not please stop watching the news. Do not watch the news before you go to bed. It's the most depressing thing ever, and it'll just take your brain off. So yeah, stop watching the news in the evening and just cut down on your light exposure, your artificial light. Humans are made and like to keep us awake for longer, right? But it's disturbing our rhythm, so do what you can to cut down on the light. Overtraining or tense workouts late at night. If you guys follow me a while, you know I'm back at the uni on a Thursday evening covering double grit. Now, those classes are super, super intense. They're high intensity, the hardest fitness classes you can do. 2 back-to-back, a little 15-minute break. But I'm wired after those classes, okay? So I do those classes, finish at 8 o'clock, and then go up, get the train, an hour on the train with the bright lights of the train. Again, get home back at 10, have a shower, but I ain't going to sleep for a good another hour, hour and a half, because I'm wired after doing those classes, and I am wired after all the bright lights. So overtraining or intense workouts late at night aren't going to help relax you. You might fatigue the body, but not necessarily the brain, because that overstimulation. So again, if you can, avoid overtraining or tense workouts late at night. And then avoid stress without release. And I was saying about like feeling tension in my body and foam rolling before I go to bed, because I'm trying to do a bit of a hustle at the minute at the end of the night to get stuff done on my to-do list. I need to do this, I need to do this. And a few things have changed my routine. So I'm like trying to do all this stuff before I go to bed, and I can feel the tension as I see the time creeping. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to go to bed, but I've got stuff to do. So I've started foam rolling for like literally 10 minutes just to help release the tension in my body. Because if you're going to bed tense, the mind's going to be tense. So just by calming down the body is calming down the mind too. So if you have a foam roller and you're like, I've had one and it's just like used for Lego or like a little stool or whatever you use it for, dust it off. Maybe the kids have stolen it and it's in their room. Then drop me a note if you don't know how to use your foam roller. I do have a YouTube that has at the end foam rolling exercises to help you with that. No bother. All right, so that is about knowing your sleep disruptors, because when you know them, then you can do something about it and you can take action and identify what you can do to address it. And the last one, number 6 is extra. I'm trying to say 6 and extra at the same time now. Number 6, extra TLC for your nervous system. So hormonal changes can make you feel more wired, anxious, and on edge. So one of the big things around perimenopause, menopause is that buildup of anxiety. I know myself, many of my clients experience this, where things that you used to just do, everyone becomes quite anxious. So think about some of the soothing rituals I share with you. So the first one is your legs up a wall. Remember as a kid, you used to like lie on your back and you'd have like your legs up against the wall. Just do that for 10 minutes. Be a kid again. Lie on the floor, legs up against the wall for 10 minutes. Just let the blood flow down, just to help soothe. It's that kind of childlike, play-like nature and just soothing and breathing. Another one is a hot bath. You can do it with Epsom salts. To be honest, I don't really think Epsom salts help me. Any bath that feels like a bit of a treat, a bit of a luxury, because you spend a bit more on the stuff you're putting in. For me, that definitely helps. That's like a soothing ritual too. So having a bath is something a bit more luxury than your usual kind of bubble bath stuff. And then, as I mentioned, guided meditation or breath work. Now, meditation I use is Calm app. It's 10 minutes. Part guided, part non-guided, and it's only 10 minutes. It's a different theme every day. So I feel like you do part of it as a meditation and as a bit of gentle thought-provoking lesson at the end. You go, oh yeah. So I quite like the Calm app because it's dead easy to use, and it's only like £35 for a whole year. So it's cheapest chip. Again, I think I've got a free like a little reward thing. So if you want to sample it for a month, then drop me a note and I can send you the code. No bother, just to try it out. I used to use Headspace, but Headspace got massively complicated. So for me, I prefer the Calm app. And then, as I mentioned, journaling to offload mental clutter. Nobody needs to read your journal, okay? It's just you putting down whatever it is, scrappy handwriting. It doesn't matter. Nobody's going to read it. It's purely for you and just like decluttering. Or even if you're like, oh, I don't want to offload my thoughts and feelings, I'm not comfortable doing that, then think about just writing out your to-do list for the next day. If it helps to get it out of your head, if you're going to do this, go do that, go do this, then get it out on paper. Old school, pen and paper, right? None of this blue light stuff. So get it old school on pen and paper. Okay, team. So that is the 6 things to help you sleep better, to feel better. So you can sleep like you did in your 30s. If you're in your 40s and like, oh, I used to sleep in my 30s, no bother at all. It is possible. It doesn't mean you have to like overhaul your entire life. Just a few small, consistent changes. It can make such a difference to your energy, your focus, and as I mentioned at the start, your weight too. Weight maintenance and sleep hand in hand, right? Just overlooked. So if you have any questions about that, I mentioned a few things in there. The Awesome Supplements link. I mentioned the if you want some help with foam rolling. I also mentioned about the Calm app. I've got like a free code for I think a month. If you want to try any of those things, then just pop me a note and just think about one or two out of that, one or two things you can change and let me know how you get on. If there's anything that you've implemented that's worked for you, or if you're still struggling, then reach out and let me know. And that is me for this evening, and I shall catch you guys